Hello, America. This is Call of Duty Goddess. Today is October the 28th, 2016. I'd like to give you a little bit more information about what happened with the acquittal yesterday with Ammon Bundy and the Oregon standoff with the charges all being dropped with the people. And KATU will give you more detail on that.
And that was the scene just 2 hours ago as defendant David Fry, the last man removed from the Malheur Wildlife Refuge, walked out of jail a free man. His release buoyed an already giddy crowd down there.
Most of the acquitted defendants will go free. However, the central players in the refuge occupation remain behind bars. We have team coverage of the verdict. Chris Lytle is standing by on the road to Burns. We begin with KT's Reed Andrews. And Reed, you talked with defendants. What did they have to say about it?
Well, they walked out of the courtroom behind me. They were greeted by supporters. They all took a victory lap here, passing out these American flags and carrying ones much bigger than this. They say this is all cause for celebration, calling it a major win for rural America. They sounded the horn and chanted their two favorite words. But Ammon Bundy, the man who led that armed occupation at the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, wasn't there to celebrate with them.
Said, if you have authority to take Mr. Bundy in custody, show it to me.
That's Bundy's lawyer, Marcus Mumford. U.S. Marshals arrested him after he argued Bundy should be set free. The Marshals thought otherwise, since Bundy is set for trial in Nevada on separate federal charges.
They put me to the ground, they tased me, and they put the cuffs on.
Absolutely, it was chaotic.
The defendants were surrounded by supporters, admitting they were surprised.
We even found it in a federal court building.
Now I can get on with my life.
They did!
The not guilty verdict gave the people of this self-proclaimed liberty movement new life, but it did not change their outlook nor their opposition towards the federal government.
I'm overwhelmed. Today is a great day.
Hopefully now we can go on from here being empowered and vindicated as peaceful activists.
Now free to do as they want, so what's next for the occupiers?
At this time, what I want to do is go home and see my son, walk around my town, walk my dog, all those kind of things like that.
I'm going to go have a beer.
The occupiers, or the now free occupiers, and their supporters say that they will be in Nevada for the Bundy's trial on a separate incident that is set to start in February. Live downtown, Reed Andrews, K2 News.
Reed, thank you. Well, this verdict took many people by surprise.
We wanted to show you how we ended up here and what happens next. So let's go to K2's Chris Lytle now, live on the road to Burns. And Chris, you've been watching this since the standoff began, and you were in that courtroom again today.
I was in that courtroom when the verdicts were read not guilty. Some broke down, started crying with joy. Others sat completely still. They were surprised. Now, it all started here in Harney County about 1 year ago. Ammon Bundy came to Oregon after learning about Steve and Dwight Hammond, two Harney County ranchers convicted of arson for burning federal land. The Hammonds were being forced to return to federal prison. Several times, Bundy asked Harney County Sheriff Dave Ward to shelter the Hammonds. The sheriff declined. Now, after a peaceful protest January 2nd in Burns, Bundy called for thousands to go to the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge to, quote, make a hard stand against federal overreach. That led to a 41-day occupation of the refuge. Now, in closing arguments, defense attorneys argued this occupation was simply a protest, that the defendants were using their Second Amendment rights to protect their First Amendment rights. Lisa Maxfield, defense attorney for Neil Wampler, had this to say.
They could have charged these people with trespass. There are a lot of different things that might have fit with that occupation. But the bottom line is, if people are protesting at that level and taking over a building and telling you the reason they're doing that is because they aren't being listened to, so maybe the answer is listen to them.
All 7 defendants were charged with conspiracy to impede federal employees from doing their jobs through the use of force, threat, or intimidation. Several wildlife refuge employees testified in this case, but it was not enough to convince the jury. While 5 of the 7 defendants were released, Ammon and Ryan Bundy will remain in jail on a federal hold because they face more charges stemming from their involvement in another standoff with the Bureau of Land Management that took place in Bunkerville, Nevada back in 2014.
So let's go back in time and look at some of the things that happened in 2014 just to get some perspective and maybe try to figure out what Ammon Bundy and his brother is charged with from that incident or those incidents.
Could I speak to a supervisor? I have an important concern. I'm not bullshit. Could I speak to a supervisor? Sir, could I speak with a supervisor? Don't do it, dude. Get back! Please, get back! Get back now! Hey, move it now! Move it! This is it! Move it now! Just see a woman on the ground. Back up! Get everything recorded. Just stand back. Come here. Stand with me. You stand with me. Stand with me. It's the best thing you can do right here.
They throwing down my aunt, dude.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You stay right with me. You stay right with me.
They threw down my aunt. They
listen to
my
me.
cousin 3 times.
Listen to me. You stay right with me, okay? Huh?
We got on video. Who's the aggressor here? Who's the aggressor?
Listen, let it go. Let it go.
Am
let
I
it go.
carrying an AR?
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Dude, seriously. Don't give them the satisfaction of taking you away. All right? Stay with me. Okay? Listen to me. Listen to me. They're looking bad right now. Okay? Seriously.
It's my family.
Don't give them the satisfaction. I know that. I know that.
It's my family.
I know that.
Guys!
Listen to me. Dude, listen. Come here. Come here, bro. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Don't give them the satisfaction. I know this is okay to go. I know you got a lot of energy. I would do what they do it, okay?
I've had family members fighting for this freedom.
I know how they act there. They want nothing.
I've had uncles die for this
They
freedom.
want nothing
This
more
is
than to
it.
take
This
it.
is America.
That's
dude.
fucked up. Listen to me,
This is
come
America.
here. Listen to me. You get on the record. I want you to talk to me right now.
Yeah.
Back up, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to tell the American public what you just saw, dude, all right? I want you to tell them. What did you just say?
Enemy aggressors. This is the road I grew up on. This is the road I grew up on. 1359 Riverside Road, Highway 170, Nevada. And I just saw federal agents throw my aunt on the ground. I saw my cousin get tased 3 times. I saw him pull dogs and sick it on a pregnant woman. Right now, just now, it's happening as we speak.
Listen.
Because we had a couple questions. I got hit by multiple vehicles because I wanted a couple questions. They hit me with their mirrors. I got hit with that dump truck.
So that's just a taste of what happened in 2014. And it ended up in a standoff where the BLM actually had to back down. So I'm still wondering what exactly Ammon Bundy is charged with in Nevada. So let's get back to the news and maybe we can figure that out.
So how does Harney County feel about these verdicts? We'll have live reports from Burns tomorrow. Steve, back to you.
Have a good trip to Burns, Chris. Thank you. We showed you a moment ago how late tonight the last person removed from the refuge was released from jail. David Fry addressed the raucous crowd outside the downtown detention center.
There's a lot
be one, and ultimately, we the people need to unite to take back this country from evil tyrants.
We will pick up our coverage of the not guilty verdicts in the refuge trial tomorrow on KT News This Morning, including more of the wild scene from outside that courthouse.
Ammon Bundy and his brother not allowed out. The other 5 coming out and expressing again their just overall enthusiasm and euphoria for being able to be out. And here, what I'm going to do is show you some sound bites. We have some interviews that we have with some attorneys as well as supporters of this so-called liberty movement. People overwhelmed at what they say was justice being served today.
These are men and women that were committed to an idea and willing to go to court with the federal government, and they prevailed. It's extraordinary. I can't really conceive of it at this point.
This shows the absolute folly that has been committed by the federal government in this case, and the nature of this case being simple political persecution rather than based on any actual criminal activity.
This is the United States of America, and telling the federal government no is not illegal. And if it is, it shouldn't be. And we're going to go fight that fight.
Does this give you faith in the American people or the court system?
You know, it gives me faith that if you fight like hell, there's still a way to find justice.
Well, in a statement, the U.S. Attorney says that it accepts the jury's decision. Ammon Bundy tweeting, "Free at last, free at last." That's not the whole truth, though. He is still being held awaiting a trial in February in Nevada for separate charges. And that trial again beginning in February. Live in downtown Portland, Reed Andrews, K2 News.
Very active down there still tonight. Reed, thank you. We did speak to some other defendants as they left the courthouse.
K2's Chris Lytle spoke to Shauna Cox just about an hour ago, and here's what she told him about being found not guilty and what she thinks about the trial as a whole. Watch this.
Were you surprised by the verdict?
I have to say yes and no. We had a peaceful feeling going in. I felt really comfortable because we knew that we were innocent. There was a few moments that we had a kind of an iffy feeling just because the rules that the judge had set for the guidelines for the jury instructions that would kind of make us a little bit nervous. But we were praying, and we had the whole nation praying, and that they would see and feel the truth, and they felt it.
Ammon Bundy was the first to hear his verdict. When he stood up, when he turned, when he faced the jury, what were you feeling?
A little apprehensive, but the minute they said not guilty, I knew we were all not guilty. I knew that. That was the only one I was really worried about because I know that this court system wants to hold him and Ryan, innocent man, and they've just tortured them. And I am so grateful that that we have a jury system that would set them free and see the truth and acquitted them rightfully.
That's defendant Shauna Cox talking to our Chris Lytle down there. We can also tell you that U.S. Attorney for Oregon Billy J. Williams says the Department of Justice will respect the verdict in a statement that reads in part, "We strongly believe that this case needed to be brought before a court, publicly tried, and decided by a jury despite that verdict reached. I want to personally thank all the law enforcement personnel who worked tirelessly to bring about a peaceful resolution to the Malheur occupation." He went on to thank the citizens affected by that occupation.
And Oregon Governor Kate Brown issued a statement on Twitter saying, quote, "While I respect the jury's decision, I'm disappointed the occupation Malheur refuge by outsiders did not reflect the Oregon way of respectfully working together to resolve differences. I appreciate the due diligence of our federal partners and stand with the communities of Harney County and residents of Burns." And once again, all defendants found not guilty in the federal refuge standoff trial.
So I'm still not sure of what the charges are against the Bundys in Nevada. And if anyone knows, please comment below. And this is Call of Duty Goddess signing off. And as always, I've got your 6.